What's the rumpus?
What's the rumpus?
What's the rumpus?
Number 41 on our top 100 list of all time goes to my favorite Coen Brothers film. Is it yours as well? I think it must be, right?
No, you know, I have a lot of favorites.
They're so damn good.
Yeah.
They're all so damn good. But
Fargo.
I love Miller's Crossing. This was an incredible mobster story set in the 30s. The Coen Brothers had some money. They had made a name for themselves with smaller indie pictures like Blood Simple, but this was opulent. It was lush with incredible script writing.
Which hand is the penny in? Choose again.
Gabriel Byrne was an impeccable protagonist that we could totally wrap our minds around and our hearts around. Albert Finney is ferocious in this movie, but I think the real takeaway, the real breakout star in this, because she had really come from the theater, and this was her big sort of film role, was Marcia Gay Harden.
Is that all you came for?
This is the thing that the Coen Brothers would become known for. It's the way that they celebrate and fetishize everything. It's the way everyone smokes cigarettes in this movie. It's the way that they speak to each other.
Thanks.
Always the yapper, huh?
I mean, it's like a play. I mean, every word of the dialogue has power
It's
and
more
punch.
than that, though. It's more than just a play. I think about this all the time. Like, this is Shakespearean, the way that they approach 30s patter. It's obvious that they just were ensconced in looking at old mobster movies and old machine gun dialogue, but they also embellished. They looked at old scripts, they looked at old noir novels like The Maltese Falcon and stuff, and they just poured it all into this thing. So they collected all of that data, all of that information, all that love for the genre, and they built something that I think really it extends beyond the genre. It's like a gift back to the idea of mobsters and noir kind of fiction like this.
I love the way that they celebrate all the old clothes in the picture. I love all the old cars. I mean, you just find your eye traveling across these things. I mean, it's the Coen Brothers discovering their own love for all of these things. But again, I'm a writer by nature. I'm not a TV performer, as most of you know. It all comes down to that terrific script, and it goes back to the words, and it goes back to the way J.E. Freeman's character of Eddie Dane saying, let's see where the twist flops. And all of a sudden, you know, you had all of these college kids across America quoting this, using this 1930s gangster dialogue.
Care to scrape a knuckle on your playmate here?
He's a sick twist, all right.
Drift, small guy.
Drop dead ape.
He's got a wart on his fanny. Huh?
It's gorgeous stuff, man.
But it's also that trip through the woods at the end of the picture when you're looking at all the trees creaking and groaning overhead as they're walking towards potentially one character's doom. If you haven't seen the picture, I don't want to spoil anything. And it's the performance of John Polito as Johnny Casper in the movie. You know, he's got his little fat kid there. He's like, come on, boys, give him a nickel.
Give him a penny, boys!
I ain't got a penny, boss.
That's a penny you owe him.
And you just get a sense of the hierarchy of this entire world. You try to figure out where everybody fits into it. You try to plug them into each position that they belong in. You know, where is Albert Finney's character? Where is John Polito's character? How do they all fit together here?
Totally, and we're getting a sense of how the Irish mob sort of fits in with the Italian mob and how the city is interwoven into this power struggle.
Then, as with all Coen Brothers movies, there was this incredible burst of violence every now and then that you wouldn't expect. I mean, it's a fairly placid world, and then all of a sudden violence will erupt and it will shock you, but it will also provide you with a profound moment. I mean, it's never done senselessly in this movie.
Jesus, Tom.
You can see Gabriel Byrne's Tom Regan just boiling over the course of this movie, about to come to a froth, and he can't contain it anymore until the very end of the movie. And if you haven't seen this movie, I envy you.
Yeah, you know, we've had both Chinatown and we've had The Untouchables, and I think that there's a production quality to this movie that kind of echoes what Brian De Palma did with The Untouchables. Maybe not quite that outlandish, quite that cartoonish or comic booky. But I think that the tone and the thoughtfulness of the film is more in line with what Polanski did with Chinatown. I think it's their most profound work. I think this is the movie that I just keep thinking of whenever I think of all my favorite Coen Brothers memories.
You gotta remember to put one in his brain. Your first shot puts him down, then you put one in his brain, then he's dead. Then we go home.
The soundtrack of this thing will stay with you. The performance will stay with you. The story will stay with you. Marcia Gay Harden, even if you don't like her right now, her Verna will grow on you. Congratulations to Miller's Crossing. You're number 41 in our list of the greatest films of all time.